The secret conversation of the trees when you walk through a forest. It might seem like each tree stands alone, rooted in one spot, separate from the others. But scientists have discovered something astonishing. Beneath the soil, trees are part of a vast hidden network, communicating and sharing resources through underground fungi. This living connection is often called the Wood Wide Web. How it works: the mycorrhizal network. The Wood Wide Web isn't made of wires or Wi-Fi signals. Instead, it's powered by a partnership between tree roots and special fungi known as mycorrhizal fungi. The term mycorrhiza comes from Greek, mykes fungus and rhiza root. These fungi grow tiny, thread-like filaments called hyphae, which spread through the soil and attach to tree roots. The fungi help trees absorb water and nutrients like phosphorus and nitrogen more efficiently. In exchange, trees pay the fungi in sugar food they make through photosynthesis. It's a perfect trade. Fungi get energy and trees get nutrients. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Those fungal threads don't just connect to one tree, they link many trees together. Sometimes even trees of different species. That's the network. Messages in the soil. Through this underground network, trees can send each other messages in the form of chemical signals. These signals can warn neighbors about danger, like an insect attack or disease. For example, if a tree is infested with leaf-eating caterpillars, it can release chemical compounds into the network that signal nearby trees to produce bitter or toxic chemicals in their leaves before the caterpillars reach them. It's like sending a text message that says, "Watch out, pests incoming." The mother trees, some trees, often the oldest and largest in a forest, play a special role in this network. Scientists call them mother trees. These giants have vast root systems and are connected to many smaller trees, including seedlings that might not survive on their own. Through the Wood Wide Web, mother trees send extra nutrients to these young trees, especially when they're shaded and can't get enough sunlight. Research has shown that seedlings growing near a connected mother tree have a much better chance of survival. It's almost as if the mother tree is feeding and protecting her children through the underground system, not just friends, sometimes frenemies. While trees often cooperate, the network can also be competitive. Some plants send chemicals through the fungi that slow down the growth of competing species. This is called allelopathy. So, the Wood Wide Web isn't just a happy sharing network, it's a complex system where survival can involve both helping and hindering others. Trees of different species communicating. You might think only trees of the same kind share with each other, but the network can connect completely different species. For example, a birch tree and a fir tree might be linked by the same fungal network. In summer, when birch trees have more sunlight, they can send sugar to nearby firs. In winter, when birches lose their leaves, the firs might return the favor by sharing nutrients. This two-way exchange shows that the Wood Wide Web isn't just about family, it's about community. How we discovered the network. The idea of trees talking to each other sounded like fantasy until the 1990s, when Canadian forest ecologist Dr. Suzanne Simard conducted groundbreaking experiments. She traced the movement of carbon between trees using isotopes, special chemical markers that could be tracked. Her work proved that trees were sharing carbon through the mycorrhizal networks and even choosing where to send it. Seedlings connected to healthy mother trees received more nutrients than those without a connection. Simard's research opened the door to a whole new understanding of forests, not just as a collection of trees, but as a living, communicating system. The role of fungi. The fungi are the true engineers of the Wood Wide Web. There are two main types of mycorrhizal fungi: ectomycorrhizal fungi. These wrap around tree roots and connect many trees in large networks. Arbuscular mycorrhizal fungi. These penetrate root cells, forming microscopic tree fungus interfaces for nutrient exchange. Some fungi connect hundreds of trees across entire forests. Without them, the Wood Wide Web wouldn't exist. Why this matters. Understanding the Wood Wide Web changes how we think about forests and how we manage them. Forest health. Removing mother trees can break connections and reduce the survival chances of young trees. Reforestation. Planting seedlings near established trees can help them integrate into the network and grow faster. Conservation. Protecting fungal biodiversity is just as important as protecting the trees themselves. Forests aren't just collections of individual plants, they're cooperative, interconnected communities. Threats to the Wood Wide Web. Modern forestry practices, like clear cutting, can destroy mycorrhizal networks. Heavy soil disturbance or the use of certain chemicals can harm fungi, breaking the communication lines between trees. Climate change also poses a risk as temperature and moisture changes affect both trees and fungi. A damaged Wood Wide Web means less resilience for forests facing drought, pests, or disease. The poetry of tree talk. There's something poetic about knowing that, as we walk through a forest, silent conversations are happening beneath our feet. The rustling leaves above may hide a secret world of whispers below, nutrients shared with the needy, warnings sent to the vulnerable, and perhaps even a quiet acknowledgement between neighbors that they are stronger together. What we still don't know. Scientists are still unraveling the mysteries of the Wood Wide Web. Do trees choose which trees to help, or is it simply based on proximity? Can fungal networks transfer more than nutrients like genetic material or memories of stress? How far can messages travel through the network? Every new study seems to raise more questions than it answers, but that's part of the wonder. Conclusion. The Wood Wide Web reveals that forests are not silent, solitary places. They're vibrant communities where cooperation, competition, and communication are constantly in play. Trees are not just standing still, they are listening, speaking, and responding to one another through a partnership with the ancient and intricate world of fungi. Next time you find yourself in a forest, remember, under the soil, there's an invisible network pulsing with life. Every root and every strand of fungus is part of a conversation that began long before humans walked the earth and will, if we protect it, continue for centuries to come.